What's going on, guys? Oh my Godzilla here with a new little series I wanted to try. We're doing a little Godzilla podcast talk thing, and I'm super excited to have G Forever here on this first episode.
Hey guys, it's G Forever from the Luminous News YouTube channel.
Yeah, so G Forever and his fellow partner in crime Heisenberg do tons of awesome Godzilla stuff. Always posting news and some cool figure reviews, and seem to get their hands on a lot of interesting things. So yeah, and actually, funny story. I back when the 2014 movie came out. That's kind of when I first started doing the YouTube stuff, and then I took a really huge hiatus. But
yeah,
Heisenberg and I actually found each other super early because we were both kind of posting similar stuff.
Oh, awesome.
And then I took a big break from making stuff, and then kind of around the Godzilla versus Kong time, I kind of came back. Started getting, yeah. But and then I kind of checked out his channel again, and he had exploded,
But
how and when did he kind of hook up with you and start co-piloting a channel?
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, I have my own channel. It's actually G Forever, but I normally don't really post much. And if I do, I kind of did like more of like do it yourself kind of stuff. Like I might post like a video on how to make this like display case. And then most of the Godzilla stuff is it's kind of like it's like Heisenberg, he has like the main most of the subscribers, so we want to get the content out there for most people. So I kind of save all the Godzilla content for his channel. On occasion I do post a few things on my channel, since Heisenberg might be busy and I really want to get the news out there. Primarily like the Easy Hobby, Omega Beast, and Eggmon and Alpha Kaiju lines that are coming out.
Okay.
So trying to get those available to people as soon as possible. And then hopefully like once Heisenberg has time, then we'll try to like regroup and try to get that information on there. But how we met actually. So it's funny, like we were both invited to the Shin Godzilla premiere in New York City. And I went there, and then I saw this guy in line. He was holding the 10-inch Bandai Shin Godzilla. I have it, but I think he's like over there.
Okay, yeah, I think I have him buried.
Yeah, so he had the 10-inch Shin Godzilla, and I think at the time, I think I have it on order, but mine didn't arrive yet. So I was like, oh man, that's cool. So I kind of like looked at it for a bit, and then saw him from a distance. And then like just he was in line, I was in line, and didn't really get to chat with him at that time until like after the movie was done. And then I think there was like a Funimation had like an after party, and like I'm kind of like there by myself, and Heisenberg was there by himself. He was holding the figure. So I was like, all right, I'll just go up to him and maybe like chat with him and see how he got it and what he thought about the movie, things like that. So we connected that way, and it was pretty awesome. Like I didn't really know about his YouTube channel, and then what else? And then found out like he actually works like down the street from where I live.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a huge coincidence. And
yeah, small world.
And then he lives like maybe like a town after me, so it worked out pretty well. Like we kept in touch, like since we were like pretty much neighbors. So like he I guess I invited him over to check out the collection, since found out he's like a local Godzilla fan, and I never really had any visitors like from the Godzilla community, so he might be like one of the first. I think Rich Iso was actually the first, but
nice.
But that was like way long when back in the day. So he might be like the second Godzilla fan to actually see the collection in person. And then I think he was just wowed.
Yeah.
So he was wowed, and then like when he asked me something like everything like in my collection, it's like all in here. So like he asked me, oh, have you seen this before? I'm like, yeah, I have it. And I'm like, let me go and grab it. So I
yeah,
so it's pretty fun. Like I think after like he saw that I'm actually pretty serious about this stuff, and I actually try to go like I try my best to get what I can, and then he decided to invite me onto his YouTube channel. And I'm actually kind of more reserved and a little like camera shy and stuff. So I was like hesitant at first, but then I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll give it a try because like this is talking about something I enjoy, and I really don't have that like kind of connection to Godzilla fans. I'm kind of quiet in the forums. Like I try not to because there's a the forums, and I guess nowadays the like the Facebook groups, like it
Yeah.
can get there's a lot of like heated discussion sometimes, and I kind of like try to avoid getting into
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
into
lot
that
of
stuff. So but
definitely.
I like to read, I'm kind of like a lurker, so I like to like
Yeah,
see what's
definitely.
going on, but like not actually like jump into into the battle mode.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I mean, like, I guess this channel was kind of more like allowing me to actually talk about stuff that I like, and stuff that I collect. So it was pretty cool, and actually get to share everything like to the rest of the world. So I thought it was a great idea, and I gave it a shot. I think at first, probably the first few videos, definitely like super shy, but still warming up, and I think it actually helped me develop more of like the what do you say, like I don't know, presentation skills and stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
eventually it became more natural, and helps even helps at work too, like not as afraid in front of an audience, especially on the screen. At least it's a little easier. But yeah, so that's how it came to be. Like I think 2017, around that time is when I started joining his channel, and then we kind of do it like as often as we can. I think prior to the pandemic, like we would actually meet in person, so we would have like
Oh
the two
wow.
of us like would film together. He did all like the camera work and stuff. I would like get the display all set up and like kind of like talk about it and show like all the specific details, because he considered me as like the Godzilla expert, where he is more like the cameraman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like he does all like the technical stuff, or I'll focus on like the characters and things like that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was a great opportunity to to work together, and also it's a good partnership. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely super fun to watch. I really, just you mentioned the Godzilla expert. I really liked the couple videos you guys did of the 50th anniversary memorial box. You
Mhm.
had a lot to say about those figures. It was super cool to watch. And then you did a video on like vintage
Yes,
Godzilla
yes.
stuff. That
Yeah.
was those were super. I've watched those ones a couple times, just going
Oh,
back and
awesome.
just because it's super entertaining to learn about it and just hear how much stuff you know about all these figures. And then watching that video, I just got it in the mail yesterday. Motivated me to track down the
Oh,
91.
sweet, the 91. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
it's awesome, and I'd seen it around, but kind of been on the fence about it. But
Uh-huh.
that video was definitely part of what made me just
Excellent.
decide I gotta get this guy. He looks awesome
Yeah, he's
on the
awesome.
shelf.
I
Looks
mean,
fun.
definitely for like the classic Bandai figures, like that's probably like, that's probably like next to the Grail. Like that's really really sweet. Yeah, I mean, like like I've been a huge Bandai collector, and I really enjoyed doing that vintage series because it was a lot of fun, like going back. It's not many people really talk about the older stuff on
Right?
YouTube.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to be able to do it. I want to do more actually, to be honest, but I think because of, I think it was Godzilla versus Kong, like that was just taking up so much time for Heisenberg, and we had to
Yeah.
focus on all the new stuff that was coming out. But hopefully, like now there's not, it's a little slow period right now, and no, there's no like new movie. I'm hoping we can like kind of circle back to the vintage stuff. Maybe I think I stopped around 95, if I remember correctly. The memorial box is probably like the last video. So
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
resume with 96 too, to the final wars in 2004. So it'll be pretty cool to recircle back to it.
Yeah, yeah, I'd definitely be excited to see you guys do some more stuff like that. And that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about is I know you had in the last video we were talking to each other about everything. You had mentioned a bunch of stuff and you collecting for a long, long time. So I just wanted to
Hmm.
know what was kind of your introduction to collecting, and I think you kind of touched on it, but I'm not totally sure. So like what was
Sure.
your introduction to collecting, and what did collecting look like when you started and whatnot?
Yeah. So as a kid in the 90s, like there was literally no Godzilla stuff. And what introduced me to Godzilla was actually the Imperial Godzilla figure.
Okay, yeah,
So that was like the very first thing. Like I had not seen any Godzilla movie. I was actually into dinosaurs as a kid, and then my grandfather, I think, was like babysitting my sister and I, and took us to a toy store. And we were like, I wanted a T-Rex, so I grabbed it. This is like this
yeah,
yellow plastic T-Rex with like green on the back. And then like my sister wanted it, so we were like fighting over it. Then my grandfather just passed me another like dinosaur, right? Dinosaur
yeah.
toy. And apparently that's Godzilla. Like I didn't know. I was like, what is this?
Oh,
Like I
okay.
don't know this dinosaur. Like like T-Rex with like spikes on its back. This is kind of neat. So and it was like a miracle. Like the same night, my father brought home like a Godzilla movie.
Oh
So
wow.
so then like it was Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. And in that movie, like that dinosaur is in the movie, and he's like
Yeah.
saving the world. Like there's Rodan, there's Mothra, and there's Ghidorah. And I was like, oh man, that was like great introduction to like everything. You get a toy and then a movie. I was like, that was the perfect way to get introduced. So I didn't really collect because I was still like a kid. Like I think I was like 4 years old. And
Okay.
then I think as the let's see, that's like probably early 90s or actually maybe even late 80s. But then like I think mid 90s, like 93, 94, I think 94, 95, that's when Trendmasters came along.
Okay.
And I think you have some in your collection. I saw one
Yeah,
of
yeah.
your
I got some
videos.
tucked right,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah. So those are like the oldies, but like they're not like the classic looking kaiju. They're like beefed up, more like
Yeah.
muscular and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean that's as close as I got to like anything that was Godzilla related. Everything was like I had to pretend like and maybe take like a beetle to become like Megalon or some sort of like
Yeah.
a dragon, and then like somehow like pretend there's two extra heads, to be Ghidorah,
Right.
something like that. Like, but now there's actually like an actual Ghidorah toy and like an actual Gigan toy. And then Mecha Godzilla looks so strange to me because back then I think we didn't have access to the Heisei movies. So I'm like, this doesn't look like the Mecha Godzilla I know, but apparently it's the Heisei Mecha Godzilla. So
Okay. Yeah.
and then there's all of a sudden I see Space Godzilla. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, never heard of this character. And then I think the same year or maybe the year after, my what was it? I think it was my father had a business trip, or my mom, one of my parents had a business trip to San Francisco, and we flew out, met with some family friends. And I used to love drawing, so I would be like drawing like Godzilla and all the different characters all the time. So while we're at dinner at a restaurant, I would be like drawing on like the place, like the paper placemat. And then my
Okay.
mom's friend saw that I'm drawing all these monsters. So then he kind of like, oh, let me take you to a shop. Apparently so he was like, I think he was like he had like a real estate agency, and he was on like the second floor. And on the first floor was the store called Heroes Club in San Francisco. And like the window was like every single Godzilla character, like all the Bandais from the classics, like 80s, 90s,
Wow.
up to 94. So everything up to Space Godzilla. So I was like in heaven. I'm like never seen anything like this, had no idea what these existed. And on the other side was like all the Ultramans from all the different generations
Okay. Wow.
up to 94. So I think that probably around like towards the future, which is Ultraman Great. So it was like before Ultraman Tiga, like everything up to like the last of the classics. Maybe Neos. I can't remember when Neos kind of came out, but like up to the last of the 90s mid 90s Ultraman. So it was like all Ultramans and all Godzillas. And I had a very little introduction to Ultraman, but it was still cool to see so many of those heroes, and then seeing all the Godzilla characters on the right side. So I was like in like heaven, and then walked in, saw more cool stuff. And then, of course, parents, you can only pick, I don't know,
Right.
like two or three. And then luckily my sisters at the time were like also sort of into the stuff. So we were like, I was like talking, you get this one, I'll get this one.
Oh,
And
okay, yeah.
so my sister, she loves Rodan. So I think she got a Rodan. And then my other sister loves Mothra. So we got the 89 like Mothra larva, um, which was from the 64 movie. And
Okay.
then I think I got Anguirus and Megalon, the Bandais. So I think those are like the four that we got from that trip. And I think I tried to get their like phone number or something. So hopefully my parents would mail order some stuff from them because we
Yeah.
didn't have we didn't have like we didn't have email back then. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think they ever did. I don't think they ever ordered anything direct as it would be expensive to ship and all that stuff. So fortunately, I think maybe a few years later, like this is probably closing in on 1990 like 8 around that time. That's when the Godzilla Island series, the 6-inch, which is now the movie monster series,
Okay, yeah.
came along. And then somehow I think I went to a local comic book store. um, they were called, what were they called? I know they ended up renaming to be Bedrock Comics. And then I think I bought Kamacuras, the Kamacuras Bandai from them.
Oh,
And I
cool.
was asking like, oh, do you have more Godzilla characters? And he had like a friend that lives in Cambridge, and he sold this stuff. So he had this shop called Day Old Antiques, and pretty much almost all my Bandai's were from that store. And then later on, I think he decided to like close shop and maybe retire or something, and referred me to Creature Feature, also in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And
Okay.
then that's like the rest of the Godzilla stuff from Bandai, all the way to the Millennium series, like all came from him. And then I think I discovered another store called Tokyo Kid. Sadly, all these stores are gone now. So it was pretty cool. Like back in the mid '90s, like you had a few like spots that they like specifically sold like Godzilla stuff, and anything from Japan, like anime and stuff like that. So very fun. It was different. Now everything's like all online,
Yeah,
but you
definitely.
do have a lot more access to the stuff, so you can actually import them from Japan directly, or just like even there's distributors in the US, so it definitely makes it a lot easier. Like normal comic book stores will now carry more Godzilla items, like even FYE, Hot Topic, like
Right,
some
yeah.
big retail chains are carrying things as well. So it's really cool, like to see the change from like nothing to like all of a sudden like everything. There's like tons of Godzilla apparel these days, which is never seen before. I kind of wish I could grow up now, because now you have so much more. And I
Right.
think having that stuff as a growing up as a child, it must be a lot of fun. So but still fun now, like trying to working now, you have a little bit more freedom to pick and choose. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I definitely imagine it being pretty difficult to get your hands on all the stuff you, or not even knowing
Yeah.
about stuff, and knowing there's probably stuff out there, but
Yeah.
having no idea how to get it. And
Yeah, I
whereas
think
now pretty much,
the biggest resource was G-Fan magazine back in the day. And I think there was like Club Dai Kaiju, and they would have these like little flyers, and it would have like the figures and like the pricing. And then you tried to go, and I went to one G Fest, which was G Fest 2000, and that was amazing. Like there was so many guests from Japan. And it was my very first time like traveling by myself. I think I was in high school. So, and then people knew me for some reason, like because I had a website called, I think it was like Godzilla Forever,
yeah,
back in the day, and then people knew me. I don't know who they are, but it was pretty cool. Um,
yeah, that'd be
and
fun.
yeah, and then it was Godzilla week, so it was kind of nice. I went to like some county of Los Angeles, and then they had, I think they're originally gonna bring the Godzilla 2000 suit, but for some reason that didn't show up or something. And but they had like a little the deluxe Godzilla 2000 electronic figure. So it was like my first time seeing that. It's like, it's like motorized and makes a
Yeah,
roar
that'd
and
be
lights
cool.
up. So that's fun. What else happened? And then The dealer rooms are cool because you get to see all the all the stuff, and you can buy them. And then there was like these model kit rooms, costume contests, and they showed some movies too, so it was pretty cool. I think I saw Godzilla vs. Destroyer, Mothra 3, and Ultraman Tiga: The Final Odyssey. So it's really awesome to see see the movie on the big screen, because back then like
Yeah.
that was the only option, the only way to see a Godzilla movie on the big screen was through a convention that would host or screen to screen them. So pretty fun back then. Now it's like, you can, I think there's, we have the legendary movies, which are awesome. I think we were lucked out. We got Godzilla 2000 in theaters, at select theaters. So that was pretty cool. And I think same with Shin Godzilla. We got to see that in theaters recently. So
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
definitely.
pretty nice
Yeah, it was cool going to
stuff
see Shin Godzilla. That was the first Japanese movie I'd seen because
in the
they were
theaters,
playing in the
right?
theater by me, so
Oh,
we went,
awesome.
and yeah, it was really cool to be able to see that on like an opening night, and it
Yeah.
wasn't super crowded, but there I saw a bunch of people wearing other Godzilla shirts, and it was fun kind of seeing who showed up for that, and it was cool just being able to see a Japanese Godzilla movie in theaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the only other time I've seen a Godzilla movie in theaters that wasn't American made was this local theater, kind of like a smaller indie theater.
Yeah.
They when Godzilla versus Kong came out, they actually played King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, sweet.
So I got to go see that one, and I hadn't seen that one in a really long time, so it was cool to go see that
Awesome.
one
That's
on the
cool.
theater.
Yeah, I think there were a few indie theaters. I saw GMK and Final Wars. But yeah, it's still a good experience. Yeah, never, always a great opportunity to see it on like a bigger screen.
Yeah, yeah, it's just fun to see it how the movie makers probably intended it to be seen
Yeah.
on the huge screens. Yeah, so it's definitely a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
and the sounds, sound systems and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, it
pretty
was super
cool.
fun. I wish they do more throwback ones and play all those in theaters, but
That'll be
I'm not
sweet.
holding my breath on it.
I know. I know. But we'll see. I mean, maybe you can gather a bunch of people and like get a private showing or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I don't know how hard that'd be, but I'd definitely be down for it.
Yeah. So yeah, how about yourself? Like, what got you into Godzilla? Got you introduced and into collecting, I guess.
Yeah, it's a weird story. So I was up. It's actually funny that you guys are up on the East Coast, because I was actually up visiting family in Massachusetts,
Oh, sweet.
and my cousin and I were looking for a movie to watch just at night,
Yep.
and he wanted to watch Remember the Titans, and
Ah.
I said, "Oh, sure, that's a cool movie. I'll watch it again." And for some reason, he was just convinced that I wouldn't like it, even though I'd seen it and I knew I liked it.
Yep.
So he's like, "No, you wouldn't want to watch this." And I was like, "Oh, I'll watch it." And then he's like, "No, it's fine." So I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll go downstairs and see what's going on down there." And his dad, my uncle, was kind of flipping through the TV and ended up
Hmm.
watching the '98 Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
So I just sat there and watched it with him. So that was actually my introduction
Oh,
to
nice.
Godzilla, was the '98 movie. And then I
Oh,
kind of was like, "Oh, that was cool. I want to see more about that." So, we're and then we come back from our trip and we make a trip to Toys R Us, and they had the Bandai Creation one. Some stuff was there,
oh, okay.
and I got the Final Wars Godzilla and the Kiryu, the Mecha Godzilla, the 12-inch
Oh, sweet.
that they
Yeah.
had,
Yep.
and so those were my first figures
Oh, wow.
coming off of
Those are
that. And then I
great
just kind of,
ones.
yeah, no, they're super awesome, and then I just kind of went from there and just kind of started buying what I could find, and trying
Yeah.
to find weird places to watch movies, and um, most of them I just kind of had to keep searching the internet until I could
Yeah.
find one that came up and would let me stream it.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I just kind of started plugging away, finding movies, and then I kind of started poking around on eBay and stuff, and just kind of started
Nice.
expanding the collection and buying what I could and saving up
Yeah.
and buying a figure here and there. And now here we
Yeah.
are, still
That's the
buying
way to
stuff.
go. eBay. Yeah, I think eBay was a big thing for like, that was like what, the early or maybe mid 2000s. I think I was like heavily into eBay when that came around, because that was kind of like the only place really to get Godzilla stuff before X Plus came along. Like everything was through eBay. Still sort of is now, but you do have more accessible to like more of the regular stuff in local stores. So, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I still peruse eBay plenty. Normally, I'll sometimes even just put Godzilla in the search
Oh, and
bar
just check the
and just
first
see if
few.
anyone happens to be selling something for
Uh,
somebody who doesn't know what they have, and maybe
yeah.
score something that you could end up finding a good deal on. It seems like, but that's the other problem, I guess, with the internet is it's really easy for people to look up what
Yeah.
things are and know their value.
Yep.
And because I would always kind of check like pawn shops and stuff, because
Yep.
comic shops always seem to overcharge for stuff like that, like Godzilla stuff. They're
Yeah.
overcharging, but I always thought maybe a pawn shop would have like a Godzilla movie or something. And I
Mm,
found a
yep.
couple things there, and I
That's
actually
cool.
found a Bandai Creation
Oh, nice.
Gigan at Goodwill
Oh,
in a
sweet.
bag. It was like in a bag of dinosaurs
Oh,
that was
wow.
like $2, and
Oh, that's a
it had the
steal.
Gigan in there. So
That's a steal.
I think I even already had the Gigan, and I was
Yeah,
just
but
like,
for
I'm I'm
$2,
just gonna
that's
buy another one because it's only
yeah,
$2,
exactly.
and I got all these other fun dinosaurs. So
Yeah, Geigen is probably, I think at the time that was like the most sought after one for the Bandai Creations one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it was like the old or one of the it was one of the smaller. It was like one of the 6-inch Showa ones. But
Yep.
I
Yep.
also that reminds me, I also because on the back of the packaging for the Bandai Creation 12-inch line, they have the Final Wars Gigan,
Yes, that's a
Godzilla, and the
beauty.
Kiryu. That Gigan took forever to track down because I'd always go
Uh,
back to I'd always beg my parents to take me to Toys R Us and check.
yep.
We could never
Yep.
find it, and then I kept like
Oh
asking for
man.
it for Christmas and stuff, and
Yep.
eventually they were able to find one, but I don't think
So
they got a
so there's
steal
a
of a deal.
story on that Geigen. I was hunting that one a lot too. I ended up getting two because it was so good. Like it's such a great Bandai.
It's awesome, yeah.
Um, but there was a recall. So I think if you didn't catch it early on, I think because I think that Geigen, if I remember correctly, it was too sharp or something.
I believe
So
it, yeah.
there was a big recall on the Geigen. So it was on like a list, like a recall list.
Oh, so did they
Yeah.
do like a
So
repaint or a
no,
reissue?
just I don't know if they took it away or I think maybe just like, just took all the ones off the shelf and maybe tossed them. I don't know.
Oh,
But
that would be sad. I got mine right
yeah.
here. I'm looking. Yeah, I don't know if they would have done it because yeah, it's definitely one that I noticed was super super pointy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very pointy. Like definitely can like poke your eye out.
Yeah, I have a younger brother, who when I got this Geigen he was probably only like 5 or 6 or something.
Uh-huh.
And my parents, when they got it for me, were super like strict
Afraid
about like, don't let your brother
to
get
play
his
with
hands on this
it.
because it's got too many pointies on it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of the Geigens. Most of them they kind of dulled up the claws and the
Yeah, yeah.
spikes and stuff. But
But this
there's
one's
definitely a couple that
pretty
seem pretty darn. But yeah, the 12-inch
pointy.
creation is super dangerous.
Yeah, that's very dangerous for a kid's toy. So it was funny. I don't remember what number it was on, but there was like that year, like it was on like maybe like number 2 or 3, like the dangerous toy list or something. So
Really, that's
it
funny.
was recalled. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know
But
that.
that's one of my favorites from the Bandai Creations line. Mine's like right there too. So
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. And the fact that it was so hard to track down just like makes having it
yeah, just like
that
once
much
you get
better.
it, yeah. So that's another thing I kind of miss from the 90s and early 2000s. Like you don't have that hunt anymore. Everything's like you pre-order this,
Right.
pre-order that. So you don't have that thrill of the hunt as much as you do before. The only thing is maybe if you didn't pre-order something, you skipped on it. Like I've done several skips in the past, and like when you're kind of going back to hunt it down. So maybe you still get a little bit of that thrill, the hunting thrill, but not as much as before. Like before, like everything was a hunt. Like you just don't know where they are, and then it was just so hard to find back then. So it was kind of cool, like especially when getting Bandai's, like they'll be like, especially going backwards, right? So it's like I was like after the 8-inch ones, I think, because I got my part-time job in middle school, like 8th grade, and then there was a lot more prior to like 98 time frame. So like trying to backtrace and they become this is rare, that's rare, this is
Right.
limited, And then I think the Godzilla Forever series was something like, oh, I really want those. So, but like they were like hard to find and expensive to get. So, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was a different time. So
Yeah, definitely,
yeah.
definitely. That was actually one I wanted to ask you about. Do you have that whole line?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I got them all. I have a story on that one too. Like the very first one I wanted, and the one I super wanted was the Meltdown Godzilla from the
Mm-hmm.
'96 Forever series, and I got scammed on that one. I think it was eBay or maybe like the Monster Zero forum. Somebody like sold it to me overseas, I think, for I don't know, like 350. I think I saved up my money to get it. That was like when we were sending out money orders, so no PayPal, no, and they
Okay,
wouldn't do
yeah.
personal checks. So I think I did an international postal money order, so you would have to go to the post office, pay a little fee, I think, and then exchange the money for like a check.
Okay,
Then I
yeah.
mail it out, and then like months later, the guy just vanished, and I was so bummed because like
Oh
that's the one I
man.
really wanted. But I think one year I think my dad helped me get it, and I was like very thankful. But I felt like, oh, that one
Yeah,
was
I
like
would.
the one that got away.
Did eBay do anything to remedy that? That they
It wa-
or were they just
it-
like,
I think back then it wasn't as like buyer protective or something.
wow?
I can't remember. Like I know I lost the money. So
Oh,
and
that's hard.
as like a high schooler, I think it was high school. Like that was really tough because you save up for it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for sure. Yeah, definitely. Especially to send it away thinking in exchange you're getting like one of your holy grail
Oh
items.
yeah, yeah. That one for me was like my personal holy grail back then. And I still love the figure to the date. And that one, I tried like any translucent figure, I try to keep it away from sunlight because it does yellow because of the UV rays and stuff.
Yeah.
So that one, I was like, always try to like protect it, like keep it away from sunlight. And and then I think I got the Fire Rodan and the Baby Godzilla after that. And then eventually I got the Disco, like which is the resurrected one with the gold
Yeah,
glitter.
that one's
That
probably my
one's
number one.
yeah, that one's the one to get if you can. And I've seen it pop up here and there. And nowadays the pricing is so much better, I think, than before.